Hi everyone, welcome to Inside SONOR Family. I'm your host, Zack Stewart, coming to you as always from my drum studio here in Nashville, Tennessee. And joining me today all the way from Montreal, Canada, the fabulous Emmanuelle Caplette. Emmanuelle, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm very good. Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, no, thanks for doing this. I know you're always very, very busy. And of course, we're going to get into why that is. But yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to come on here and talk music and drums and of course, SONOR drums. So before we get into more of the talking about as far as what you're doing or what you use with SONOR, you always seem to maintain a pretty busy schedule, both kind of as an independent musician working with, I know a lot of different artists up in your area in Montreal, around Quebec. You also teach, you've performed at many of the great drum festivals, and I know you host some camps as well. So before we get into it, maybe give the people at home an idea of pre-COVID, what would a typical month or week look like of work in your life?
Like during the COVID?
Before COVID, maybe.
Before COVID. Oh, I was supposed to do a lot of drum camps, like in Europe, especially. I had planned to do drum festivals too. And teaching, of course, but so it was my plan before the COVID. So my schedule was very busy, and I was playing to the Bell Center in Montreal for the Montreal Canadiens hockey.
Okay.
I was supposed to do all the games, to play at all the games in Montreal, but it didn't happen because of the beautiful COVID.
Yeah.
But nice. It's fine. I'm not. I took that as a break, Mm-hmm. I tried to find a way to turn that in a positive way. So I was always on the road. Honestly, I was very tired to be on the road. I was exhausted. My body was tired. So from March to September, I stayed at home. I watched Netflix like normal people. And I just took it easy and take care of myself. I slept a lot, I just start run, do more sports. So for me, the COVID thing was positive to take care of myself. So, but of course I miss gig, tons of things change, but it was okay. And I'm a focused, disciplined person. So,
okay.
About the money, because so many people are worried about that. I don't gig, I don't have shows, blah, blah, blah. But so I was prepared for that kind of stuff. So I was ready to just take it easy and pay the bills like it's supposed to do without stress.
Good. Yeah. Well, that's good that you can, I think at this point, you don't have a choice but to find some positive in this. And I've had the same conversation with a few of the people who've done these interviews. And yeah, it's like everybody's kind of, whether it's that of maybe taking a little more personal time for themselves, for health, for rest, also as a pull layer.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I did some, normally we are doing some music tour, but it was a lake tour for me.
Okay.
Area, we have some mini beautiful lakes around here. It's beautiful. It was fun. And of course, I teach a lot of on Skype during that, and I'm still doing that. So it's very cool. I have new students. It's amazing. It's fun.
Yeah, it's funny. I haven't taken any lessons, but I have reconnected with a few old teachers who've done like a Zoom session, or even through new people who I see they advertise, hey, I'm going to do a Zoom or online clinic on a certain technique that they are an expert in. And I've gotten to find these people who normally I wouldn't have ever had the chance to actually do any kind of studying with, So like I said, I'm glad to hear that, you've found a way to kind of be motivated and keep pushing forward. With your online teaching, were you doing much of that before COVID hit?
Before the COVID, just maybe one or twice a month because my schedule was just crazy and I wasn't able to be like, and I don't know the word, but like consistent each week.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
But now I'm teaching only the Mondays, and it's very cool like that. So
nice.
It's enough for me, and I'm full book like in the Monday, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe later I would like to teach more, but we'll see. Anything is possible.
Yeah. So, obviously I've seen a lot of videos of your playing over the years, and I was watching some of your clips from PASIC, and then I saw you've done obviously quite a few camps. You do one in Montreal, right? Your own drum camp, correct?
Last year, yeah. But
okay.
19, yeah.
Yeah. And then you've done some in Europe as well, yeah? With some other artists?
Yeah. In Montreal, I did that with Sarah Tower. So it was very cool. And in Europe, I did some camps with Aaron Spears, Thomas Lang, many others. Well, I love to do that and share things with other drummers. So it's amazing. We can learn all the time.
Yeah. How do you find it, or maybe do you prefer one or the other, like a camp versus just like a one-off clinic kind of situation?
I like both, because it's totally different. The cool thing with a drum camp is I can take the time to, how can I say that? I can spend more times with people to help them with their technique, with their grooves. So that's cool. It's a kind of 2 or 3 days, very intense, and it's a good way to have new friends too. So I like this intimate thing, to be in a drum camp with other people and share, and we can hit with everyone. I like that. And a clinic, it's very cool. I love it, but it's like, okay, I'm there for 1 hour and a half and I'm gone after. So it's quick, but it's fine too. But I like communication with people. Yeah,
I do. Not quite at the level that you do it, but do a couple of clinics and a few things a year. And I always seem to prefer those situations, like if I go to a school where perhaps I could actually have the students or people there come up and play or do something. And that way, like you said, you can give them that real-time feedback, because I always think there's kind of like 2 ways to do it. There's like when I was a kid, I remember going.
Yeah, and at the end of a camp, you can see the evolution in just 3 days. Crazy. So I did something for them and it worked. So this is my fees. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
There's a big improvement in 3 days. I like that.
Yeah. No, that's I think, like I said, that's when you go into kind of the clinic situation, sometimes it's more just a performance. Especially if you're one of those drummers who's got the insane superhuman chops. People just watch you do your thing for 90 minutes. They walk away going, that was amazing. And that's good. Maybe that's inspiring, but
it's a kind of a show. It's fine.
Yeah.
Of course, after each clinic, I like to take the time to say thank you to everyone and talk to them a little bit. But it's more, of course, a drum clinic is more a performance. I play more songs than in a camp. But the cool thing, I have time in a clinic to explain what I'm doing in the songs. So I like to, to teach something in a clinic, not just play stuff, because people wants to understand what you are playing, not just chops for 90 minutes. Don't explain anything. For me, a clinic is a kind of a lesson. It's not a drum show. It's drum festival is a drum festival, but it's something you have to teach to people, in my opinion.
Yeah. And like I said, I think there's a time and place for each of those situations. Like we won't name names, but certain legendary players, you see their drum clinics, and I don't know how much they teach you, but just watching them do their thing is extremely inspiring. But I really prefer those times whenever you have that situation where the person breaks it down, or a lot of times people will say, oh yeah, I understand what you're doing. Then you ask them to play something and they can't do anything. You're like, well, maybe you don't understand what I'm doing there, So it's, always a balance. Well, I usually like to kind of talk to people about something that's unique in their career and that they can maybe give some advice on. When we had Andres Ferrero on, he's one of the few people in the world, not few, but one of the high-level Broadway working drummers. So he obviously spoke to some of that. And I think, something that you have done obviously for many years now, and I think a lot of drummers, both people who are professional or just even the hobbyist are maybe more interested in, which is helping build their online presence. So obviously you've done it in a very successful way. There's a lot of people obviously trying to do it in different ways, but would you mind just maybe going over how that came to be for you as far as, obviously I think you started maybe with more lessons like on your YouTube channel and then kind of built that into Instagram and all that. Like, how did that all come to be for you?
I just want to make sure I understand your question. Yeah. You want me to explain how I go through all of that, or?
Yeah, well, how it started for you, because you've been, you're kind of not, you're someone who's been doing it just for quite a while at a high level as far as having an online presence, whereas some other people maybe just in the last year or so they actually cared about building anything online other than just having a Facebook account or something.
Yeah. You know what? I have a YouTube account since 2005 or 6, and okay. I really didn't know at that time what's the goal of that, because I was sending emails and it was like that 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, I have to promote myself. I'm like, okay, so I will put some videos on YouTube and I could send the link to people I want to work with. It was my goal back in, but I didn't know it was to be viral, on YouTube. And I got messages like, oh, you should come to do a clinic in New Zealand, whatever, somewhere, everywhere in the world. I was like, what's that? And I was like, okay, maybe I should do new videos. Oh, okay, on YouTube. And I got like more than 15 million views now. It's amazing. Wow. It wasn't my goal to get many views, I was innocent, I was like, and after that I was like, okay, cool. So I will maybe put some covers videos in the beginning. I don't do that anymore, but I was like, okay, I have some good comments and I got some, requests to do clinics and sponsorship and everything. I was like, oh, okay, that's good. So I always try to get a good sound and a good camera with my budget, at the time. And the most important thing was, okay, my drums has to sound very good. I don't want to hear any distortion. For me, it was very important. And so I create my Facebook account and I create, like, just 5 years ago, my Instagram account. I was like, what's Instagram? I'm old anymore, So, not too old, but and it's very useful. And with an Instagram account, I was like, okay, so it's more instant. I don't know if I express myself well, but I'm like, okay, I can post more what I'm doing in a day. Things like that, videos, short videos, efficient, and people like that. And this is you can be surprised who watch your videos or your picture. Okay, so and I'm always a positive person. Okay, so I want to share that to people. I don't fake anything. I'm not like when I'm not on. In the front of a camera, I'm not like super sad and my life is. I'm not a victim, I'm not like that. Yeah. So I try to stay positive all the time and to spread the good energy to people, and it worked, and people feels it, and I got comments and a good feedback from people, and I got sponsors because of because of course I work hard and I prove them that I'm able to play. I gigs, I work, and I still continue to put stuff on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, more maybe teaching videos, lessons. I like to share lessons with people, and and as I said, you don't know who watch your videos on YouTube or Instagram, whatever. And it's like that. I got, the TV show with Seth Meyers, Late Night with Seth Meyers, the producer on Instagram. And it was like, I want you on my show. I'm like, really? Because it's on Instagram. I'm like, okay, that's awesome. That's amazing. So, and the same thing when Andy Summers, the guitar player of the Police, he saw me on YouTube and he called me. I want you to play with me for in a new band. Blah 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 blah. And it's like, it's crazy. So use your social media well, not just to say bad things. Just don't say bad things. It's not necessary. Try to be positive. Be yourself. So if you are a negative person, okay, fine. Be yourself as a negative person, but doesn't look good. Okay. So just be yourself, having fun, share your things, and just be you. And, I don't want to be the best drummer of the world. I don't care about that. I really don't care. I just want to be the best person as I can. This is the difference. Of course, I know my forte on the drums. I know my strength. I know my weak side because I have weak sides, of course, like everyone. But just I'm myself all the time. I think so. And your social media are magical now, and we can learn from everyone on the planet. I see some young drummers; they are playing like crazy. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. So this is an amazing platform when you use it like as good.
Yeah. Well, I think that's that's great. I mean, I think you find a lot of people who are in your situation, the success came organically. You're not trying to force it. And as you said, being yourself, it was a musician in a band I was touring with who kind of was getting social media presence. He was not a drummer, obviously. And someone sent me was getting these articles. And like you said, everything was like basically how to do this on the road. And when you're on tour, how to be like that. And he's literally writing these articles as he's sitting in the corner, not talking to anybody, talking about how to be like the guy that everybody wants to be around. And I'm like, you're literally in person, you're extremely antisocial. And but yet he's putting on this face of like, oh, I'm happy-go-lucky guy and all this. So that's, important. So I guess, even though yours obviously has been built over years and years, your success, both just as a working musician, but also with what you have done online and YouTube and Instagram. Is there any just maybe couple of things, obviously besides being genuine and, being real with people that you would suggest to a drummer who maybe thinks they want to share what they're doing, whether it be maybe some music they're playing or maybe they feel like they have some unique concepts they'd like to get out there. Is there any maybe just a couple little tips you would say for them?
Like to put on the Instagram account, the kind of
that or YouTube, just kind of whatever to build towards their intention.
Oh, okay. Of course, you have to find what's in special on you. Okay, because it's fine to play cover stuff. It's good, but so many people does that. So you have to find your specialty. You have to find, if you want to play like I say anything, but if you want to play like Dave Weckl, cool. But Dave Weckl is existing. You have to find you who you are. So if you play a cover, do your version, your own version. Create your own stuff. Another thing, when you play a song, please record a band or find a track without the drums. Drummers, and I see like semi-pro or pro. I saw pro drummers. They play with the original track. This is it's not good, and we hear a lot of drummer flam with the tracks. It's not good. Okay, so do the effort to record your band. I wish many other musicians, they can help you to record for free. All the covers I did on YouTube, I didn't pay any musician because I didn't have money at that time. I was like, would you record that for me? Blah, 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 blah. And all the guys, girls said, yeah, sure. And you put their name in the credit. Do your own version and find something you have special, okay? And it will work. Of course, if you have compositions, that's amazing too, because it's new projects. This is new songs. It's good to share that. And example, if you want to create your Instagram account, pay attention of any details. Maybe I'm freak, but like all the symbols should be look good, not a mess behind. Like I have this here, it's not good. It's like try to. It makes a big difference for the real musicians. So if you want to be higher, if you want to work as a musician, do all of that. It's a big difference. Okay, I prefer, and the sound. Try to have a good sound, like I said earlier. The difference too. So and you know what? When I start doing videos on YouTube, I always smiling when I play because I like that. It's not I force myself to be, like this. And it's like, you always be happy when you play. Yeah, and it's true. So for me, it's just natural. I like my job. I love my job. So this is something that people know and watch now. Emmanuelle, she's the drummer who's always smiling. Yeah, even if it's rock, I will smile. And if you're not, I don't care. It's like, I like it. And of course, sometimes I will be more focused. It depends on the songs, but this is my trademark. To smile all the time, and it's okay, and I like it, and I know I have a special technique, like I don't play like this. I don't really move. My posture is, straight like that. I'm very comfortable, so it looks like effortless all the time, and it's true. I don't play like it's hard. No, it's effortless, and this is something people recognize when I play. She's always relaxed, and it's true. So what's your sparkling, So you have to find that.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. And I think hopefully for maybe some of the younger players or people who are a little bit more inexperienced, they understand that obviously this did not happen overnight for you. This is years and years of work on your craft you put in, and then years of work also with that in mind, like you said, of having professional audio. If you're going to try to go for that level, upping your level, like you said, to whatever your budget can afford, of cameras and all that stuff,
Yeah. And I was lucky, like 15 years ago, 16 years ago, I knew a lot of musician and sound engineer. So if you know a good sound engineer, it helps a lot.
Yeah, it's funny. I've got a home studio here, and sounds are okay, but our live front of house guy, I keep trying to, which he's offered to do, is just schedules of like, hey, can you come over and just sit at the desk and listen to all my sounds? I mean, I think they sound okay, but like you said, he's a professional, and like you said, if you have a good relationship with the people, offer to buy them coffee, buy them a lunch, and they'll come over and maybe help you out.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to ask help. That's it.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
How many people can help you?
Yeah, and plus, I mean, now, geez, in the pandemic, everybody's kind of in the same boat. So I'm sure your guitar player friend, your bass player friend, they want to do something, you know? So I was looking, I think it was maybe this week you posted, this is your 15th anniversary as a Sonar artist?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 50
That's awesome.
already. Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations. That's awesome.
I was like 24. Yeah, 23, 24 years old. Yeah, something like that. 20.
Nice.
Yeah. So I was young.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, you know,
They are amazing. The guys are awesome. And they believe in me. They trust me. And yeah, our relationship is just like that. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I've anytime I've ever done something in Canada, I've been fortunate to be able to bring my equipment. We just bust across the border. But a few friends who are fellow Sonar artists from the U.S. always speak really highly of the Canadian guys when they're up there and need equipment. So how did you come to, you know, become a Sonar artist? Were you know, a fan of the drums before, or did you kind of reach out and check them out? And what kind of sparked your interest with them?
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I like this question. You know, when I was at the college, when I was a student, like when I was 18, my first year of drum set, my teacher told me you have to find a snare that it will represent you, you know, yourself. I'm like, okay, so I have to find a snare. Okay, cool. And I went to the store, and the guy at the store told me, have you heard about Sonor? I'm like, no. So he said, okay, there's a new snare. It's from Germany, so I have to order it from Germany. And it was a Sonor designer series. I think this is this one. Yeah, these.
Nice.
Yeah, this one.
Oh, beautiful.
First snare, my baby.
Oh.
6.5 inch, 14. And it was like, if you want it, I will order it. I'm like, okay, it's maple. Okay, cool. So, okay, let's do it. So I took my scholarship and I ordered this snare in 2001, something like that. And I completely fell in love with the snare and the sound. And I was like, okay, someday if I can get a sponsorship, I would love to be a Sonor player, as a Sonor artist. So a few years later, I'm like, okay, I was on tour with Cavalia, equestrian show with the horses.
Oh, yeah, I'm familiar with that, yeah.
Yeah, so I was there, and I'm like, okay, I think it's the time to get a sponsorship, you know. So I call Ralph Angelillo, is the producer of the Montreal Drum Festival, or now it's Ralph Angelillo Drum Festival. So I call him, and I was like, do you have the numbers or email of the guy, the relation, well, English sucks. The guy of Canada about Sonor. And he said, yeah, here's the email, blah, blah, blah. So I sent my press kit to Sonor Canada, and Scott Atkins from Sonor Canada wrote me back, and he called me, and he really loved my press kit. And my press kit was very small at that time. I was at school, you know, so don't be afraid to ask, you know, don't be afraid. And I got my sponsorship, like 15 years ago. And yeah, so that it's like that. So I just wrote an email, sent my press kit, and they were very open to read, to watch, to listen my stuff. And yeah, this is why I'm with Sonor since.
Yeah.
So it's because I knew the product just a little bit, because I got only the snare in like 20 years ago, but I'm like, I have to try. Yeah. So, and plus at that time, there was no female drummer. So it was like, oh, cool. So we can have an ambassador of Quebec, of Montreal in Canada. I'm like, perfect. That's amazing. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's great. So obviously you had the designer snare, but what was the first kit you ended up going with from Sonar?
They gave me the Force 3005. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Force 3005. Yeah. I don't have it anymore, but yeah, it was a 20-inch, 10, 14, 16, I think. Something like that. Yeah, it was a Force 3005. Yeah, an old one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was surprised, hearing and seeing some of your videos, and then I came across a video where you were talking about your setup in the video, and it's always like I'm actually I'm 6'4", so I'm tall. So when I play a 24-inch kick drum, everybody thinks it's a 22 because I'm taller, But I was surprised at how big your drum sounded, and then in one of the videos, I think you said you were using like an 18 kick or a 20,
I
a
use
10.
a lot of a 16-inch bass drum.
Wow.
Like 90, 80 or 90% of my video on YouTube are recorded with a 16-inch bass drum.
Wow.
So when people say small bass drum don't sound good, I'm like, hey, dude. It sounds very good, and plus the fact that the bass drum has a suspension, in the air, it's not directly on the floor, so the sustain sounds amazing. There's a lot of bass. It's very surprising. And I did a show with another drummers, and the sound guy was like, "Oh, okay, the other drummer has a 22, and I had my 16, and." The sound engineer was like, "Oh man, your bass drum sounds way better than the 22 kick." So don't do the sound with your eyes, okay? Do the huge difference.
Yeah. No, I now I remember seeing it through the videos, and noticing I'm like, that's got to be an 18, maybe a 16. So now I know it was a 16-inch bass drum. And it sounded great. One thing I thought was really cool, people can check it out on your website. I don't know if it's still up there or not. I checked it out a while ago. You list actually the kits you have.
Oh yeah, I have a list. Yes.
Yeah. So that's really cool. So I was checking that out to see what some of the sizes. One thing you do that again I think is unique. Obviously within Sonar, there's kind of two series of drums. There's the drums that are manufactured in Germany, and then there's drums that are manufactured in China. And I've noticed you play a lot of the Chinese kits. I mean, of course they sound great. Yeah, I mean they sound fantastic. I mean, I've got a couple of I've had some of the Force stuff and used it for backline. I've got some of the AQ2.
Right there, another there. Yeah. So and they are made in China. It sounds very good. And of course I have the vintage kit made in Germany. Yeah. I have few snare made in Germany. I have this one. This is the pure Canadian snare. So it's with a maple from Canada. They shipped that to German. They built the snare and it's here. So but of course, there's the quality is different, of course, but the sound, honestly, I don't really feel the difference, honestly. Yeah. And both are good. It depends on your budget. So, and you know what? I love to play with like entry-level kit like that. And it sounds good. And when I do clinics, people are like, it sounds amazing. It should cost like very expensive. I'm like, no, it's not. It's China. Yeah. It's China. So it can sound good. You can have an awesome sonor, for a good price. And if of course it's good if you have the budget to have an SQ1, SQ2 Pro Light. They are amazing. It's incredible. They are incredible. Yeah. So it depends of the situation of people, of course. Yeah. So I can. They are good. They are amazing.
Yeah. Well, no, I think your videos have done a great job of that, of showing the versatility and just the quality of those drums, and I think it speaks a lot to Sonar, because yes, obviously everyone knows Sonar makes some very, very high-end, very costly drums. If you can make whatever you want with SQ2. But I think it's cool that there's also the option, for someone who's a younger player, or maybe doesn't have that much of a budget, to have a great sounding, cool looking kit at a better price point,
Are good, are amazing too. They look great, man. It's amazing.
Yeah. So it looks like, so what's your kind of typical setup as far as sizes and amount of drums whenever you go out and do a gig, whether it be a drum festival or like, you do a TV show there in Quebec, like in Montreal? What's kind of the typical setup you go with when you start on a gig?
It depends of the gig. I'm very lucky. I have 12 drums here. So I can choose what I want. But, I have, this kit, this is the AQ2. So I love this one because this is the same setup I use when I do clinics or drum festivals. So this is the biggest kit. I have my splash there, but it's supposed to be here, but the camera is there. Yeah. But so I like for clinics things. I like the 20-inch, 10, 13 floor, 14 second floor. Yeah, I like. And I use 13 and 14 floor toms because it's more easy to tune. Yeah. So for me, it's perfect for the size because I'm a small person, so I like small toms. Okay. And 2 snares. I have the 12-inch here. I have the 14. A lot of cymbals. So the EQ2 in my studio. This is this kit. This is with this EQ2, I record the songs for people, like for artists. I teach with this one. I do a lot of videos now with this kit. On the TV show I work in Montreal right now, I use the player kit, SONOR player kit. So it doesn't really exist anymore, the player. So I have the kit. It's like 12 by... no, not 12. Sorry, 20 by 12. So it's shorter.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, and same size, 10, 13, 14. I have 2 snares. It's close to be the same because we play so many different styles of music in this TV show. So I can play African stuff, Cuban stuff, punk, whatever. So I have to be very versatile. So I have this pretty much the same setup. But often when I have like corporate gig, private events, I just use like 1 tom, 1 floor, 1 crash, like something very simple, and it works. Yeah. I did another show and another TV show from past January, last year until March. So I use my vintage drums. So it was just my kick 18, snare 14, 10 and 14. That's it. Plus my SPDS to start the loops and things like that. So it depends of the gig, honestly. But it's pretty much the same. It's like I have 1 or 2 floor toms. That's it.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, like I said, it's, every time I've seen a video of yours, always sounds great. So obviously, through the different configurations, whether it be maybe a 20-inch bass drum or a 16, always sounds killer. Yeah. Well, we'll start to wrap this up here a little bit because I know you got some stuff going on today. But before we get going here, or wrap up, sorry. What's anything kind of coming up for 2021? I know some things are probably waiting to see what happens with the world opening back up, but anything people could be on the lookout for coming up?
But if the COVID can be done and gone,
yeah,
supposed to do some drum clinics and drum camps in France, in Italy this summer. So it's very cool. I hope I will be able to go there and doing that kind of stuff. And now I'm working on my drum book. So it's I wish I can launch it like in April or May of 2021. It's a technical book, so it will be a lot of. It will talk about rudiments. I will give some exercise, some routines to develop like stamina, articulation, fluidity, speed. So I will give so many tricks. I will share my Bible with people. This is what I want to do. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Well, I'm sure that'll be a huge success from all the fans of your teaching and your videos to have kind of all that together, you know?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
So keep you posted.
Well, on that note, if people do want to keep up with you, I'm sure they've seen your videos posted, but where's kind of the official spots to go to on the internet as far as website or social media to keep up with what you have going on?
Manage everything, but I have someone can help me sometimes when I'm too busy, but like Facebook, Instagram, my website, emmanuellecaplette.com. When you write an email, it's in my inbox all the time. So just don't ask me if I am married. So sometimes I got weird question. I'm like, I don't want to waste my time and answer to that. So be efficient in your message. Like talk to me about drums. I will answer, but personal life, this is another thing. So
yeah, there you go. Just ask about kick drum tuning or rudiments and you will get a response. Anything else, don't expect a response.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Emmanuelle, this was really fun. Thank you so much for doing this, taking the time. And for those of you at home, stay safe, stay healthy, stay positive, and we'll see you next time.